Good morning, students. Today I am going to discuss the different factors on which the choice of the foundation depends from the Unit 2. Actually, in Unit 2, I have discussed about the types of settlement, in which I have discussed differential settlement and somewhat I have discussed about uniform settlement. Afterwards, I have discussed about the importance and concept of settlement. So in that concept, I have discussed about the immediate settlement and consolidation settlement. In immediate settlement, I have given the you all people might have also gone through such type of settlements. Once you all people might be learning the chapter of consolidation to try to revise the concept of consolidation, or otherwise I will take one or two lectures on consolidation also if the concept of the consolidation is not clear to you all people. So once you will get the clear picture of consolidation, you will be very easily you can very easily tabulate the immediate settlement numerical problems and secondary consolidation, primary consolidation problem. So once I am discussing these things, factors affecting the choice of foundation, factors affecting the depth of foundation, and factor affecting the allowable bearing pressure, tolerable limit, and BIS specification for the settlement for RAT foundation and MAT foundation. I will revise the concept of foundations also, bearing capacity of foundation also, and somewhat if you all people have not understand the concept of vertical stresses, or you all people might be having any problem in unit 1, so I will try to keep one or two lecture as a revision lecture for you all people. So function of the foundation is to transfer the structural loads from the building safely into the ground. It should reach the underlying soil that is free of the organic matter and unreachable by the winter frost. Winter frost. A larger and heavier building of the masonry, steel or concrete would require its foundation to go deeper into the earth, such that the soil or the rock on which it is founded is competent to carry its massive load. Foundation design is highly specialized field of geotechnical engineering. This is the superstructure, this portion is the superstructure, this is the substructure, and this portion is the foundation. Primary factors affecting the foundation choice is subsurface soil, groundwater condition, structural requirements, lateral earth pressure, intensity of the loading. Secondary factors affecting the choice, affecting foundation choice is construction access, methods and site condition, building codes and regulation, impact on the surrounding structure, construction risk, and environmental factors. Selections of the foundation type. Selection of the foundation types depend on whether the load is transferred at the deeper depth or the shallower depth. Following are the parameters which will be considered while selecting the foundation type, that is soil strength, ground condition, foundation load, construction method, and impact on the adjacent property. So foundation loads might be dead load, live load, wind load, earthquake load, and structural member forces. Settlement in the foundation may be uniform and differential. Differential settlement must be minimized, depend on the site soil condition and distribution of the loads on the column supporting the buildings. So no settlement, total settlement, and differential settlement, these three cases are being shown in the diagram. In the first diagram you can see that there is a no settlement in the foundation, and second diagram you can see there are total uniform settlement, and in a third diagram you can see the building is being the foundation is being settled in a differential manner. Uniform settlement is usually of the little consequence in a building, but differential settlement can cause severe structural damage. So such type of damage occur due to the differential settlement. Foundation or footings come under the two main categories, shallow foundation and deep foundation. I have also discussed these things previously, but once again I am revising all these things. Shallow foundation includes spread column footing without or with tie, beam, individual or combined wall footing, strip footing, stepped footing, grillage foundation, and raft. The guidelines for a shallow foundation are: they are founded near to the finished ground surface. The depth is generally less than the width of the footing and less than 3 meter. They are used when the surface of the soils are strong enough to support the load imposed upon it. Made from the reinforced concrete square B into B, usually one column, rectangular B into L when large capital M is needed, circular D by B is less than 3 rounded, flag poles, transmission line, continuous strip, and support of bearing walls, combined cantilever, process necessary capital M to prevent the failure, desirable when load is eccentric and construction close to the property line. This is the way weight is distributed. The footing distribute the weight of the building over the broad area. This is the foundation wall and this is the footing. The width of the footing, the width of the wall is the height. The width of the wall is the height of the footing. The width of the footing is twice the size at the wall. W and 2W is the rule. General proportion of the footing as related to the foundation wall thickness. If W is the width of the wall, W will be the height of the footing and 2W will be the width of the footing. Footing should extend not down. Footing should not extend down at least 6 into undisturbed earth. No fillings under the footing. Footing must be at least 6 below the frost line. If soil is bad, increase the size of footing. Size of the foundation wall depends upon the lateral earth pressure and vertical load to be supported. Typically walls are 8 inch thick. Basement wall must be extended to 8 inch above the finished grade. Minimum height is 7 feet 5 inch. Combination of this in diagram 1 you can see the combination of spread and this is the field example of spread and strip footing, and this is the way you can show reinforcement in the strip footing. This is an example of simple spread footing. These two diagrams are an example of simple spread footing. So types of spread footing you can see it is a simple spread footing, rectangular. It is a stepped stick footing. Column is shown in a figure, and it is a stepped footing, that is sloped stepped footing. Here you can see it is column, pedestal. So such type of footings you can see. Simply it is a simple spread rectangular spread footing, stepped spread footing, and it is sloped footing. So this is the way how footings are being provided. This is a combined footing, two spread footing in a single format. So such type of footings is termed to be the combined footing, and this is an example of continuous footing. Grillage foundation. So what is a grillage foundation? If the foundation is being given in a way, a column is supported on a central beam, such a foundation is termed to be the grillage foundation. So in a diagram you can also see how grillage foundation looks like. This is the stepped footing, a stepped foundation with a laterite stone. So such type of footing is termed to be the stepped footing. A strip foundation, these are used to support a line of load, such as load bearing walls. They could also be used where the line of the column position are so close that individual pad foundation would be pointless. Raft foundation, these are used to spread the load from a structure over the large area. This would normally be the entire area of the structure. Raft foundation are often needed to on the soft or loose soil which have a low bearing capacity. So this is the way bearing capacity is being provided. You can also see in the picture very clearly. Advantages of the raft foundation: spread the load in a larger area, increases the bearing pressure, provides more structural rigidity, reduce settlement, heavier, more resistance to uplift, distribute loads more evenly. Deep foundation, shallow foundation are suitable in a weak or highly compressible soil. So deep foundation is provided in such areas where soil bearing capacity is very low and heavy loads are expected. Deep foundation are usually at a depth deeper than 3 meter and used to transfer the load to a deeper, more competent area strata. Caisson with or without the sockets, end bearing or friction piles, pile wall and piers, made of concrete, precast or cast in situ, or steel or wood. These are the some example: caisson, socketed caisson, end bearing piles, friction piles, drilled and poured, end bearing piles for Point load and friction pile will transfer load by the friction resistance between the piles and the earth. Pile foundation. Piles are used to support buildings in poor soil condition. A basic pile foundation is a series of stilt which rest on a solid load bearing layer and bearing piles, sands and these things. So these are the way piles are being driven. You can also see the videos on YouTube of pile driving. So this is the field where the pile has been driven. After the pile driving out, you can see the picture very clearly. These are the pile caps. So actually, when I will discuss the deep foundation, there I will discuss the design of these pile foundation, well foundation, caisson foundation, how they are being designed. So these are the way. Precast piles. These are some precast piles. These are benched excavation. These are some when in the last semester when you will go through construction planning and management, you will come to learn about these equipments which are used in civil engineering construction field. This is backhoe. You all people might have seen in the this is one kind of backhoe. This is second kind of. This is another type of backhoe. And these are bulldozers. These are shoulder beam and lagging, which are used to support the vertical. Soil should not fall. Soil should not fail in a vertical cuts. These are bank requiring retention system. These are being actually you all people have learned the chapter of soil stability. So in order to stabilize these slopes, some retention system is being imposed so that these slopes should be retained. Retention system depends on the proximity to the building, types of soil, water table level, temporary or permanent. Cost is the key consideration. Dewatering, process of removing water and or lowering the water table within the construction site. Purpose to provide a dry working platform typically required by the code and specification. If the water table is above the working platform option, keep water out, let water in and remove it. Soil types, the makeup of the soil has a major influence on the choice of foundation. A good soil types need to be able to cope up with the loadings. A good soil needs to drain water well. A poor soil type will shrink, swell or move depending on the loads or condition placed upon it. Silty soil is found in floodplains or around lakes. Silt holds water well in the water well and a soft when wet. Silty soil is not a very good foundation material unless it has been compressed and hardened or has been dried out. Sand is usually considered favorable from the standpoint of the foundation support. It can be a problem usually due to the water. Water rising through a sand deposit can create an unstable condition. Sandy soil can hold water. Clay is composed rock particles ground extremely fine or reduced by weathering. Clay soil normally contain water. Clay drains slowly and compress when foundation are placed upon them. Clay has a tendency to absorb the water and swell. These are the poor sandy soils. These are some condition. Gravel can be well compacted and allows water to drain freely. Gravel soils do not hold water. The variety in the particle size in the gravel means that even when closely packed, it will contains the voids and drains well. Gravel is least likely to be affected by drying out. Structure below the waterproofing. Structure below the ground subject to penetration of the groundwater, more extreme if below S2O level. Two basic approaches to the waterproofing: waterproof membranes or drainage, generally both used in tandem. Materials: liquid or sheet, plastic, asphaltic, synthetic rubber, coatings, cementitious, plaster and admixtures. Accessories: protection board, water stop, unit of measurement, SF mils thickness. These are some ways for waterproofing. Thank you. So students, try to revise the concept of slope stability, vertical stresses, bearing capacity, consolidation, and vertical stresses, consolidation and settlement of foundation. Try to solve numerical problem on these topics. because in gate examination 12 to 15 marks actually come for sure from these geotechnical engineering 1 and 2. If you all people are not comfortable with any concept in geotechnical engineering 1, feel free to ask me. I will make a lecture on those topics also, which is not understandable by you all people in geotechnical engineering 1. And also ever which topic you are not understanding, try to solve the gate previous year question paper, which I am giving you all to giving you all people on a daily basis. I would like to complete the course of geotechnical engineering before the gate examination, so that you all people might be able to score good marks in geotechnology. uh, go through these videos, go through the laboratory videos which I am sharing, and I will be sharing these videos in Moodle now, and your attendance will be monitored from today onwards. So log in into Moodle and keep watching these videos, otherwise no attendance will be given to you all people. Feel free to clarify your doubts and keep solving the numerical problems. Okay, thank you students, thank you for being patient listener over here.